Hi guys, Dark Lady here, and welcome to my This Is How I Did It for the Mogushan Palace Challenge Mode dungeon. As you can see, I'm here on my Mistweaver. I have a Paladin tank who fortunately knew what he was doing and had done this quite a few times before. I've got 2 Warlocks and a Frost DK. So we're going to start the dungeon by literally pulling all of the things. You can stop in this particular room that we're in right now and kill the first 2 packs if you so wish. We didn't. We chose to just run straight down and kill all of the things at once. This took us quite a few attempts because I found it quite difficult. Having not healed anything this intense before, I did find it quite hard, but got used to it as the encounter went on. Basically, you're going to want to press all of the buttons and do all of the things here, and that goes for everybody. DPS, tank, healer, you're going to want to press everything, blow all your mana, just keep the tank alive. He or she is going to be taking a huge amount of damage and getting periodically stunned, so you're going to be their lifeline basically. I'm fortunate to have a tank that's really, really good and knows what they're doing. So if if it's easier for you and the comp that you've got, or if you have somebody that's slightly less confident, you can just split that lot into 2 different pulls. It's not a problem. If you do have Bloodlust, that's when I would recommend that you use it. Okay, the encounter actually needs to be started quite early because there is a large amount of RP, as you'll probably know from doing the dungeon. So we just have one of our DPS run in and start it. Okay, the first guy isn't really that much of a problem. He's got his shockwave ability, which is easily avoidable by the tank, and the Ravage just needs to be healed up. As you can see, I got it on me first, and the tank just bopped me to get it off me straight away, obviously, because I'm the healer. I do need to be alive. Well, as I will show you later on during the dungeon, I don't actually need to be alive to get things done. That's the first part of the encounter dealt with. The next guy does actually hit your tank quite hard, so you will need to be quite liberal with any mana that you have left at this point. Don't panic about going into this encounter with a little amount of mana. It's not a major deal. You can use Mana Tea. You only need about 1/4 of your mana to get through this encounter, to be honest. It's not a huge amount of damage, unless you're going to stand in stupid places like I'm about to do and get punted across the room and do my best impression of a monk golf ball. Basically, you want to avoid the whirling dervish, like I didn't. One of our warlocks didn't either, in my defense, but yeah, you want to avoid that. The warlock portal is up for the next part of the encounter. It's the last part, the final boss. For some reason I haven't taken the warlock portal. Again, I will apologise for my sort of slapdash tardiness. I was very nervous doing this, and looking back now, it's nice to see how I've actually improved. Okay, this last guy has 3 different abilities. He's got the traumatic blow, which he'll put on the tank, which just needs to be healed up. It is quite hefty, so be careful with this one. The other thing you'll do is cast Conflagrate on a random party member. This is just a little ticking dot. You just need to heal that up. Your Renewing Mist should take care of that for you, especially if you're using Uplift. The last ability that he will use is his Meteor ability, which he will target a random party member with. You just all want to stack up and share the damage. I found Zen Med to be quite useful for this. Whether it actually reduced the damage from everybody else, I don't know, but it kept me nice and healthy, and everybody's still alive, so I'm going to assume that it went well. We've come through here early just for speed. You are on the clock, so you do need to get from one place to the next as quick as possible. Being a monk, you've got all of the speed boosts at your disposal. This next part of the dungeon can be dealt with in one of 2 different ways. You can either do it the way that we're going to do it now, which is to invis past this first pack of 3 and the second pack of 2, which are on the stairs. But you can't see them because they're in stealth. You can do it the other way round, which is to kill these 3 at the bottom here. If you are going to do that, just make sure you kill the Ironhide first, as he does provide a shield for the other 2, although they do have relatively small health, so you can just AoE them down as long as you main focus the Ironhide. The only thing I will say about doing it the other way and taking care of that first pack and invising through the 2 at the top of the stairs and these 2 hexes here is that it leaves very little room for mistakes when it comes to jumping over the barrier, as I discovered with another group when I was doing this on my Warlock. It is doable, there's no problem with it, but if you do make a mistake, it is a wipe, unfortunately. You are going to, you'll come out of invis too early and pull the hexes. But whichever way you want to do it is entirely up to you. It really doesn't make any difference, although I will say that this way is slightly easier. Make sure the tank jumps down first. Be prepared for quite a lot of incoming damage on your tank initially. Okay, these guys all have different abilities. You'll want to CC the Oracle if you're not killing him straight away. CC the Oracle. There we go. CC the Oracle, as he does heal the other 2. We have the luxury of a DK to pull in the Hexer, so he's going to get cleaved down with the others. The Ironhide provides a shield for all of the rest of them, so you will want to kill him first. The Hexer will cast Hex of Lethargy on people. This does a shadow damage dot, and I think it reduces your cast time by either 20 or 25%. Either way, it is dispellable, so you can get rid of it. It does stack though, so don't leave it up. We've opted to kill the Oracle next. The Oracle is a bit of a pain in the backside because he does heal the others if you allow him to cast. You can CC the Oracle and the Hexer if you want to, if you don't have the DK to pull them in, and you can just have the tank drag the rest of them over to cleave them down when you want to kill each one. Any Hex abilities will work on them, so yeah, Hex, Polymorph, all of those things will work on them. The Sulker, he will cast Shank, which will stun your tank if he stands in it. You can move from the Shank though. As you'll see, he's going to cast the Shank and the tank's just going to walk away from it. So you don't have to get stunned by that. The Gekkan, he doesn't hit too hard when he gets really big. He looks worse than he actually is. He just starts to hit a bit harder. Fortunately, I've got a nice big tasty paladin to heal, so he's not taking too much damage. When the boss gets to low health, you want to be moving towards the last set of stairs. Right, be careful here, there is a roaming pack. We've got 2 Howls of Terror available, as we've got 2 Warlocks, so it's not really that much of an issue for us. But if you don't have that sort of CC available, you want to CC the 2 at the top of the stairs and then run like hell. This is the worst boss in the entire dungeon, the elevator boss. As you're going to see, we're going to start bouncing around like a bunch of idiots. As Chaos is going to demonstrate to you, there is a reason for this. If you don't jump up and down on the elevator, for some reason it thinks you're not on it. As you can see, he's been left behind. It's no major drama though, he's a Warlock, so he's got Burning Rush, he's just going to catch right up to us. We're going to be stopping here shortly to pull a pack of mobs anyway, so it's not really the end of the world. Okay, this pack of mobs here does hit pretty hard. It's mainly their abilities that cause the problems. So as you can see here, I've cast Ring of Peace on my tank. Just want to try and negate as much damage as I possibly can. If you're going to interrupt anything, it needs to be the giant spinny move of doom that the mobs do here, as that does cause a lot of party damage. Other than that, it's just a case of stacking them up and killing them as quickly as you possibly can and moving on. In the next room there are 2 mobs which we opt to pull. You don't actually need to pull them. As you can see, we're on, well, when these 2 have died, we're actually on 17 out of 20 enemies, and there's 5 mobs in the last room alone, so you don't actually need to pull these 2. We have opted to pull them because we can. You can CC those 2 mobs. Any CC will work on them. Just be careful because there is a roaming pack in that room which do move through that room, so just be careful that they're not there. This last pack is going to cause quite a lot of damage to your tank. It's actually going to cause more damage than the boss will. So feel free to blow all of your cooldowns and all of the things to keep him alive. I wouldn't recommend smashing out all of your DPS cooldowns at this point. You can use Zuin if you want to, but I would recommend that your DPS keep their cooldowns for the boss, because you should roughly only have about 2 minutes to kill him. I think if going through this again now, I would probably be a little bit quicker. I think I would definitely have contributed more damage, as I said earlier, but yeah, I was very nervous at the time. These dogs are relatively easy to deal with. You just need to make sure you all stay stacked up, because they do tend to jump on people, and the further they go away, the less cleave damage you're going to get on them, and you want them to die as quick as possible so that you can pull the boss when you've just got over 2 minutes left, which we do relatively soon, I believe. As soon as the dogs are nearly dead, you can pull the boss in. Now, the boss encounter itself is actually not that difficult to get through. It goes without saying that you just basically need to avoid all of the bad. So there's the ground slam, there's the floating weapons that cast the fiery circle of doom, which is going to happen in a moment. There you go. The spinning weapons, and at 33%, there will be unavoidable weapon damage that comes out from the walls, but that's when you need to save your personal cooldowns for, so lock rocks, anything like that. I actually die in this encounter. I was going to try and take it out, but I'm not. I'm just gonna let you see how bad I can be. Yeah, I did actually die in this encounter. As you can see, I'm getting quite stressed here and spam healing myself when I should actually be healing Raz on his DK. But yeah, it just goes to show that you can get through this encounter without a healer, and the damage is pretty negotiable, like from the boss onto the tank. He doesn't actually melee for that hard. This is the bit where the worst damage comes in, the 33%, because you have the unavoidable damage coming in from the walls. You can see the Warlock's popping his backpack there to make sure that he stays alive. So this is when you want to use your personal cooldowns. I believe we must have not had a Soul Stone on cooldown, off cooldown here, sorry. So I've actually finished the encounter dead and floor inspecting, but you know, it's a tough job and somebody's got to do it. We do actually finish the encounter with just under 30 seconds left, which is quite nice. As I said, I was very nervous doing this encounter, so I know I've improved a lot more since then, and Jed's now pointing out that I have actually been out healed by the tank, but my meters are actually the ones that count. If you enjoyed this and it helped, feel free to give it a like, and thanks for watching.